place, right? How are you, man? Good afternoon, right? This is statistical introduction to statistics, Math 10882. My name is Saralis. I'm the guy who has been sending tons of emails. I hope you remember me, or at least seen my emails. Okay, guys. I will be your teacher for the rest of the semester. Any questions you have about this course, you can call me, you can email me 24/7, you can come and see me in my office between 11 and 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. Right? You can also arrange to see me during the weekends. Right. Right. First of all, you should have 5 handouts in front of you. Right. The first, let me read out what the handouts are. The first one of them should be the lecture notes for the entire semester. The second one contains a list of common distributions. It's a list of common distributions. The third one contains a syllabus, the syllabus for this course. The fourth one is quiz number 1, which is due next Monday. And the fifth one is the coursework, or the R coursework, right, which is due on the 29th of April. Right, that's why, in other words, you have about 3 months, or more than 3 months, to work on the coursework. Guys, can you settle down, please? I mean, it's already 3 o'clock. I don't know why you're so late. Come on, guys. Right. Now, let me talk about the different handouts, right? The first, starting with, starting with the syllabus, right? The lectures for there will be 2 lectures for this course. Monday, Monday 3 to 4 p.m. and Thursday all right, they will both be in I just want to test you guys. Can you hear me from the back of the? Yes. Can you read this? Can you read this from the back? Yes. Okay. Thank you. And the example classes or the tutorials are different. The times for the tutorial depends on the week. They're not the same for every week, right? So the tutorials for this week we have, as you know, the lab session, right? So the lab sessions are from today. Right? Shh. All right, guys. So these are the tutorial hours for this week, but the times are different for next week, right? So every week the times for the tutorials are not the same. And if you look at this handout here, it looks something like this. If you look at this handout, I know you can't read it, but it is in front of you. This is a copy of the handout that I just gave you, right? So you should be able to read it, right? Right, it tells you the exact times. It tells you the exact times of the tutorials for every week starting from this week. Right, so this is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and so on. Right? And right, you need to attend on only one of these sessions, one of the tutorial sessions. And you don't need to stick to, I know you have timetable in your Blackboard or My Manchester. You don't need to stick to those times because often the information that is contained in Blackboard are not correct. I will explain that later, right? Okay, I mean, you can come to one of these, you can come to any one of these sessions depending on your convenience. So if you can come to the Monday session from 10 to 11, if you prefer that one, you come to that place, right? So depending on your convenience, come to the sessions, right? You don't need to stick to the timetable in your My Manchester or Blackboard, right? Shh. All right. Now, this is, I'm sure you've seen visualizers before. By the way, you don't need to copy down anything I write here. After the lecture today, I will scan everything I have written and put it online on the website. I assume all of you know where this course website is, right? It's minerva.it.manchester.ac.uk and then my first name. Anyway, I will explain that in a minute. The next one is my contact details. My contact details are described in the second page. If you look at this, I don't know if you should be able to read it from what you have in front of you. This is my room number. Maybe you can't see this, but this is my room number. This is my phone number. I have something called Zoom. I send you something called Zoom. Zoom is a free video conferencing web system, right? It's more powerful than Skype. I'm sure all of you know Skype, right? But Skype is not as, Zoom is much more powerful than Skype, right? And you can contact me by clicking on this. You should type this link here. Just open a browser. I'm sure you have iPad, iPhone, laptop, and whatnot. I mean, I don't know anything about iPads because my daughter knows more about that than I. Yeah. So you can open a browser and type this address, right? Type this address here, right? And then after a couple of seconds, you will be connected to me. You'll be talking to me face to face, right? So whenever you have a question, sir, just type this link. All right, open it. All right, you'll be talking to me. And Zoom is very convenient because, I mean, you can talk to me from your home or from a shopping center or a shopping mall, or even when you have a shower, you can talk to me. Yeah. So I have a question. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So Zoom is very convenient. I mean, a lot of people use Zoom these days. I mean, not so much in this country, but especially in America, they use Zoom as a platform with communicating with students, right? Okay. Try that, okay? But if you can, limit the calls between 11 and 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. And unless you have an emergency or something important you want to talk to me about, you can call me anytime. But if you don't have an important matter, just call me between 11 and 5, Monday to Friday. Okay? Okay, and my office hours, these are my office hours, right? But you are most welcome to see me any day, anytime between 11 and 5 or 11 and 6, Monday to Friday. You can also see me during the weekends. I mean, I don't live in ATB, but I live very close to ATB, only like 5 minutes walking from ATB. So even if you want to see me during the weekends, I'm most happy to come to ATB and meet you, right? Okay? Okay. And this is my email. I'm sure all of you know my email because you have received my email. And this is the course website. This is the course website. And this is something I want to mention because I do not use, okay, let me write this down. I do not use Blackboard because Blackboard is a very inefficient way to, it's one of the most inefficient systems I have seen for teaching students. Right? Okay. I mean, it's number one, you need to log in. Every time you want to go into Blackboard, you need to type in your username and password and all that. Number two, sometimes the Blackboard is down for maintenance. So it's very inconvenient. So whereas the website I've given you, this website is open all the time, right? This website is open all the time, and you don't need password or username to get into this website, right? Okay. All right, and also, the Blackboard costs the university a lot of money. I mean, the university pays like close to £1 million, close to £1 million for Blackboard, which is, I mean, it's not worth £1 million, you know. It's not. Okay. Right. The next one. All right. The prerequisite for this course is, as you know, is given in this handout is Math 10141, which is probability 1. Did you enjoy this course, guys? No? Yes? How was the exam in probability 1? Okay. Right, books. Books for this course, there's no need to buy books unless you want to spend money, you have money. Right? All right, there's no need to buy books unless you want to spend your money. Then you can, right? But I have listed some of the books for this course in this document I gave you, right? So I have listed some courses, some books you may want to buy, but as I said, they're not needed, right? Okay, and then the important part is assessment. Assessment, right, there's going to be quizzes, right? There are going to be 10 quizzes. All right, there's going to be 10 quizzes, each worth 1 mark. Quiz 1 is one of the handouts I gave you. So please hand it to me as soon as you can. I mean, it shouldn't take you 5 minutes to do quiz 1. Oh, should it? Huh? Okay, try to do quiz 1 as soon as you can and hand it to me before next Monday, right? I will mark it myself. I will mark it myself and give it to you. I will send the marks to you by email, all right, and I will also attach a copy of your quiz by email, right? Come on, guys, listen, please. The art coursework is worth 10 marks, right? And that's one of the 5 handouts I gave you. It should be in front of you, right? And it's due on the 29th of April, which is a Monday, right? So don't be late. I will not accept late submissions or email submissions. If you submit anything by email, you will get 0 marks, right? And similarly, if you submit something late, you will get 0 marks, okay? So please, I've given you enough time. You've got 3 months. You've got 3 months to work on the art coursework, so don't tell me that's not enough. Yeah? All right? All right, so... And the final exam, will be worth 80%, right? And the final exam will be held in May or June of this year, right? So you will know. I will let you know the date as soon as I know it, right? Okay. All right, guys. So that's this one. All right, now let's return to the course. The first thing we want to know, because this course is about this is the first course in statistics you guys are taking. I assume so, right? So the first question you want to ask yourself is, what is statistics, right? All right, statistics is a branch of mathematics dealing with data collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation, right? So all of these are part of statistics, right? I mean, there is not a single area in the sciences, engineering, or medicine where statistics is not used, because every part of the sciences, engineering, and medicine require these things, right? They require data collection, they require data organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation. That is why the statistics is so universal. It's a universal language. So it doesn't matter what you want to be, whether you want to be a mathematician, or whether you want to work in the stock market, or whether you want to be a doctor, you need to learn about statistics, right? Okay? Right, so statistics is universal, right? Now, there's a famous quote I'll mention. You guys okay? Can you read this from the back, guys? Yes. All right, somebody said, shh, somebody said this statement says, statistical understanding will one day be as important as being able to read or write, right? I mean, we learn to read or write in the nursery, right? So learning statistics is going to be as important as that one day, right? Because it's going to be so universal. I mean, it is already universal, right? Okay. I mean, I did not mention this. I did not say this, right? It's not me. This was mentioned by somebody called H.G. Wells. He's one of the greatest philosophers of our time. I mean, he was one of the. He's no longer alive, but he was one of the greatest philosophers. H.G. Wells, right? Okay. Now, statistics also can be used to do things that are not good. For example, I mean, you can prove anything by statistics. You know, in mathematics, there's only one way to prove things. Either if you say A equal to B plus C, then it can be either correct or not correct, right? But statistics is not like that, right? Okay? I mean, statistics, you can prove anything. You can prove that Earth is flat, right? The Earth is not round. You can prove that 1 plus 1 equal to 3, yeah, and so on, right? So there's a saying that statistics and can be proved to lie anything, right? But I'm sure when you become statisticians or when you become whatever you want to be, you want to use statistics for good things, not to prove things which are not clearly not true, right? Okay. Right. The next thing is the popular trend in the use of statistics. I mean, recently there have been, I'm sure you heard about a number of areas which have become popular, right, because of the use of statistics. And some of those areas are as follows. One is big data. I'm sure you heard of this name. Big data analytics is a big area. It's one of the current topics if you want to work on it, and it relies heavily on statistics. Another is deep learning. Another is machine learning, which is. And another is bioinformatics. Right, all these are currently hot areas, right? All of these four are currently hot areas where because of the use of statistics. I mean, each of these areas uses a lot of statistics. Right, a lot of statistics, okay? So if you want to, like, after you finish your undergraduate degree, if you want to pursue a master's or PhD, you may want to work in one of these areas because they are currently very hot topics, right? Each of these four, right? Okay. Right. Next thing. Right. I need to define a few terms, right, before I can talk about statistics. The first thing is population. Population is something. Right. I will define it by some examples. Listen, guys, these are 4 crucial terminologies. I mean, these, you need to clearly understand what each of these 4 things mean. In order to do statistics, you need to understand these 4 terms: population, sample, parameter, estimate. Right? I will explain what they are in a minute. Suppose the population could be, one example could be right? A population could be that all the men in the UK could constitute a population, right? Okay? Because there are millions of men, it's really hard to access the whole population, right? I mean, there are millions of people in the UK, right? So it's really impossible to access the whole population, right? A sample is something that you select from the population. It's a subset of the population. So right? So an example of a sample could be that, say, 1,000 men in the UK selected at random, right? That could be a sample because of a number of 1,000 is manageable. A parameter is something that you're interested in. For example, it could, okay, an example of a parameter could be that the average height of all men in the UK, which is kind of impossible to measure because there are millions of men in the UK. So if you want to compute the average, you need to measure the height of every single man in the UK, which is nearly impractical, right? I mean, you can't possibly do that in practice, right? So what you do is, instead of computing the parameter, you compute something known as the estimate. And this would be right, so the estimate could be the average height of the 1,000 men that we selected in the sample, right? Which is manageable. So it's not a lot of hard work to measure the heights of 1,000 men, and you can take the average of it as the estimate. So these are the 4. These are the 4 terms that you need to master in order to do statistics, right? Okay. Now, there are notation I need to practice. I need to mention. The notation for a population is usually this. This is the notation that people use. It's a big omega. All right? That's the notation for a population. The notation for a sample is like this. S, right? And the notation for a parameter is usually theta, right? It's the theta, it's the Greek letter theta, right? And the notation for the estimate is theta hat, right? Okay? Is that clear, guys? So this is the notation for a population. Yes, sir. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter big theta or small theta. But this one is a big one, yes. You're right. So theta is the common notation for a parameter, and this is the common notation for an estimate, right? Is that okay, guys? Any other questions? That's a good question, sir. Any other questions, guys? All right. Let me give you another example. Right? This is example number 2 on population, sample, parameter, and estimate. Right? Right. So the population is one. Could be all the people in the UK, right? The sample a sample could be say 100 people selected at random. And the parameter is the parameter could be the proportion of the people who smoke in the UK. So that's once again impossible to compute, because there are millions of people in the UK, and you want to find out exactly what proportion of them smoke. Is not a job you can do, right? Okay, all right. So so what you do is you draw a sample, say 100 people. And out of the 100 people, you can ask them how many of them smoke, right? So the estimate could be right. So the estimate of the proportion of smokers will be this. So what you do is you ask the 100 people how many of them smoke, and you divide that by 100, you get a proportion. Okay, okay. All right. So this is another example on the 4 terms, right? Any questions so far, guys? No. Some of you are sleeping. Why? Why? You guys okay? Oh. Right. Now, we talked about samples, but how do you sample? I mean, there are different ways of sampling. I mean, I can teach a course about sampling itself, which will take you the whole semester. But I only have like a couple of minutes to describe. Right? I mean, the two most common ways of sampling are as follows. Okay, this is the most common way. One of the most common ways: simple random sampling with replacement. Number two is simple random sampling without replacement. So these are the two most common ways of sampling. Okay. Now let me give you some examples. The first one, I mean, as I say, there's no need to copy down, because as soon as I go to my office, I will scan everything and put it online. Okay. Suppose you have a box. Right. And suppose there are n balls in the box, right? And A of them are red, and n minus A of them are blue. Now, if you do in the first sampling, I mean, you guys just did probability 1, right? I'm sure all of you know probability better than me. Okay? So now if I ask you, like, you have a box, right, with n balls, A of them are red and the remaining are blue. Now with the first sampling, that is the SRS, simple random sampling with replacement, what is the probability that on the ith row you select a red ball? Huh? Is A or N. So it will be the, right? Now, with SRS without replacement, right, the probability of selecting a red ball will not be the same every time. Okay, so the first time, I'm sure for the first time the probability of selecting a red ball will be A over n. This is for red, and selecting a blue ball will be n minus A over n. Right, this is, I'm sure you've seen this in your probability 1 course. This is known as the tree diagram. Yes? Okay, and that's for the first row, right? For the second row, right, the probability of selecting a red will be what? Because you have already selected a red, okay? So it will be A minus 1 divided by n minus 1, and this would be n minus A plus 1 divided by n minus 1, right? This is for blue, right? And this is red, blue. Now here you selected the blue, so you have A reds remaining out of n minus 1, and this would be n minus 1 minus A divided by n minus 1. So as you can see, with SRS, or simple random sampling without replacement, the probabilities are different depending from on the first row, the probabilities are A over n of getting red. On the second row, the probabilities are different, right? Okay, so this is this one, sir. That's because, oh, sorry, man, I'm being stupid. Thank you for correcting. Thank you. All right, any other questions, guys? All right, the next thing, all right, before I just call it a day, the next thing I'm going to talk about is variables. There are two types of variables, guys. There are two types of variable. One is called quantitative. Quantitative variables. So for example, age is a quantitative variable. Height is a quantitative variable. Weight is a quantitative variable, and the other one is called qualitative. The qualitative variables are like, for example, color. All right? Okay, color is a, then pass or fail. Pass or fail is a qualitative variable too. All right? Now, when you guys come on Thursday, I will talk more about quantitative random variables. All right? You can pick up from there anyway. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it looks okay to me, sir. It looks okay, yeah. Yeah, sure. Hello. The sheets are there. They're on the desk. Thank you. Sorry, ma'am. You want to hand it in now? Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello. Anything left for me? Thank you.
That's how I see from the requirement first. So I just want to find.
I can't tell you whether it's correct or not, but if it is correct, then if you got okay. If it is correct, I will let you know. But I'm not supposed to tell you whether it's correct or not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a quiz, so
Okay.
it's your word. I'm not supposed to say.
The whole material you're going to learn.
Yes.
All these words and words. Everything will be covered.
Yes, everything will be covered. Have you got the handout? Somebody said they didn't get the handout. Sorry, ma'am.
Are you still locked on?
Huh?